Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to go over some knife awards for 2023 that I've made up, of course, and these are my opinions, so if I don't pick your particular knife, don't be offended. Let's get right into it. Some of these will have more than one option, and I'm going to explain that. For the best overall value or the best buy of 2023, we're going to get started with one that kind of shocked me this year, the Monocolor Knives Assault Team #1 in titanium and 14C. Now, as far as budget goes, that would be the Monocolor knives. Also, we had the Miguron Moyarl in 14C 28N G10 with a titanium pocket clip. Excellent value. Along with the Olitans TO24 knife that comes with 3 different blades that you can change out with 9CR 18 MOV titanium scales and a beautiful action. But the overall winner, in my opinion, to this would be the Sencut Serene. Outstanding value, aluminum scales that are nice and comfortable and softened, D2 steel with a super slicey full flat ground blade, reversible pocket clip, very smooth button lock action, dual deployment, and overall win. Now, I will have links to everything that is available down in the description, and I don't know if I'll have every single one of these knives, but I will have the best overall in that category. Number 2, the most innovative, we're going to start with the Kizer Brat with its integral G10 frame. And usually you see integral knives, very premium, expensive knives, but Kizer came out with the Brat that's affordable, 154 cm, and being that's an integral, it makes it super comfortable. The action on mine is very smooth and snappy, so that's one, but that's something that we've seen before, so it's not super innovative. And next, of course, we got the Civivi Vision FG, and we saw the Civivi Vision in the premium version, so this isn't super new to us, but this is the first time in a while that a budget version of the premium version, in my opinion, was better. So I had to at least put this on the list. We got the Super Lock, and mine's wearing some aftermarket aluminum scales that I got off of Etsy that look absolutely stunning. And also a Civivi aftermarket milled titanium pocket clip. Next, we got the Vosteed RSKAOS with the top liner lock, or basically a button compression lock. And that is something that's cool, but we did see this. I think Blades We Love did this, and you kind of have the smock that's somewhat similar to that. So it's not super new to us. And of course, we had the Civivi Typhoeus, the convertible knife, if you want to call it, that turns into it's a push dagger, and it also turns into a fixed blade or a modified fixed blade, whatever you want to call it. Cool, but they did this in a premium version first, but it's cool to see them bringing some of these in a more affordable format. But for me, I think the most innovative this year would have to be the DEFCON Knives Fulcrum. It's got their leverage lock, which is pretty neat, and we first saw this with the Aurora knifing tool Truffles. Same designer designed the same lock for both of these knives, and DEFCON has the Truffles isn't out yet, so I can't put it on this list. But interesting knife. It has a regular flipper and a top flipper, and a very versatile blade here. You push the button, and it basically leverages a section that acts as a reverse liner lock, and it lets the blade go. So definitely cool. I love seeing new innovation in the knife community. Number 3, the best universal EDC. I mean, something that's just an outstanding EDC across the board. There's 2 in this category that, for me at least. First is the Kizer XL Original. And this knife is a nice size knife, and it only comes in at 2.3 ounces because there's no liners in there. So it's an outstanding one to carry. It has remarkable action, and it's a good slicer. However, it's not reversible, so it kind of excludes the lefties out there. But for me, the number 1 is going to be the Civivi Knives Qubit. It's a good size for EDC. It's got a thin blade stock with great geometry, so it slices like nobody's business. And it's got a reversible deep carry pocket clip. And the aluminum scales are super comfortable because they're nice and softened. The Qubit is an outstanding EDC knife. So is the Kizer Original XL, but my pick for this one is going to be the Civivi Qubit. Number 4, we got better than their price tag. So they're hitting above their class. They should be more money. So we got the Civivi Vision FG. Like I said, I'd rather this one more than the premium one. You got a innovative lock, the super lock, I think it is. A very useful blade and a very fidgety knife too, but a good performer. But that's not the winner here. For me, it's going to be the Civivi Knives Sokoke, a Ray Laconico design. I think it looks more expensive than it is. It's very comfortable with the contoured scales. You have thumb stud deployment and front flipper. Excellent action, very comfortable, and a very versatile drop point blade in 14C 28 steel. This is a clear winner for me. Let me know down in the comments, what are some of your winners in these categories? Next, we have the sliciest knives I tested all year. There's going to be several of them, and I'll talk about that. First, we have the CJRB Large Pyrite. It has a decently thin blade stock, and it's ground nice and thin. Man, this thing slices well. While we're sticking on the large, we have the Oknife Sentry R1. Look how thin that blade stock is. 14C on this with a full flat grind. This thing slices like nobody's business. It's a large knife. It's kind of like supposedly a kitchen knife. It's got contoured scales. It has a pocket clip. It's comfortable in hand. And this one's in there AR RPM9 stainless steel. Beautiful action. This one carries like a much smaller knife. Next we have the Kizer Escort. Now this particular version came out this year, but the original Escort did not. So I threw this one on there just because it's an outstanding slicer, and I tested it this year. 154 cm, very comfortable ergos with the contoured micarta scales, and reversible pocket clip with the clutch lock. Yeah, an outstanding knife. Then we have the Vosteed Mini Nightshade. This one has pretty thin blade stock, and this thing is a full flat grind, comes down to around 14 to 15 thousandths behind the edge, and that blade shape is just outstanding for pretty much anything you want to do. Love the Mini Nightshade. Then, of course, I had to put the Civivi Qubit here, another one that just performed. It sliced so well with the full flat grind, nice and thin blade stock, 14C 28M blade steel, priced well. Outstanding little slicer. Two of them in the more expensive category. We have the Tuya Wrath with that deep hollow grind right here. This thing sliced so well. I think mine's like 14 thousandths behind the edge. Tuya really shocked me this year with pretty much all their releases. One more premium one would be the Quiet Carry Drift Large. Man, oh man, this is another one that has nice and thin blade stock. Tall flat grind, making this thing a slicing machine. And on the very budget end of this, the Sitivien ST152, mine comes down to around 14 thousandths behind the edge. This thing slices very well for such a cheap knife. I think these are like under 30 bucks, if I'm not mistaken. Nice and comfortable contoured micarta scales. Nice smooth action. Yeah. So overall winner in the budget category, we're going to go with the Civivi Qubit just because it checks all the other boxes rather than the Sentry R1. This is not the best EDC. It's just a large knife. And in the more premium knives that I have up here, we're going to go with the Tuya Wrath with that deep hollow grind. Next up, we have the best performance knife. And that means it held its edge the best with all the stuff I cut. So in the budget arena, we're going to go with the CJRB Ekko. This thing impressed me every single time I used it. I tested it for the review, and I kept testing it for some shorts and stuff like that, and it still has a nice sharp edge on it. AR RPM9 stainless steel, another Ray Laconico design, and probably one of my favorite CJRBs as of late. Love the Ekko. And one that kind of surprised me because I just got it not too long ago, but I finished the testing and I've been using it, and that is the QSP Capybara. Man, oh man. Hopefully my review of this is coming soon, but the performance on this knife, this thing, it's an M390, and I did my testing and a lot of other stuff, and it still has a ridiculous edge on it. So to say I'm surprised is an understatement. But the overall best performer I tested all year, hands down, would have to be the Schwarz Knives Overland Sport. This thing, I mean, has impressed me to no end. Now, this is a mid-tech EDC fixed blade, and the only fixed blade on this list. I'll have other videos with the EDC fixed blades, but this is just in the awards category. It's in magnet cut steel, and they had the Sport's the smaller one. You can get the regular Overland, that's a larger version, but he did the magnet cut right. It's ground nice and thin. It slices really well. Great blade shape for so much stuff, and overall winner by a long shot as far as performance goes. Next, we have the best action this year. Now, this one is kind of tough because a lot of knives now have outstanding actions, and it just depends on what type of locking system they use. But this is just some that kind of stuck out to me. So on the very budget end, this Kizer Amicus, man, this thing rockets out. It's got a very satisfying break to it, and one I use quite often. Super lightweight because it doesn't have any liners to it. It's just an impressive little, I think it's 42 bucks. I think that's very impressive for the price. Then that would be my flipper choice. And for blade hole would have to be the CJRB Alt Pyrite. Mine comes out so hard. Now, you got to understand, say, everybody's actions on these knives, especially in the budget arena, are not going to be the same. So some people might not have the best action on this because their button lock is not tuned like mine. Maybe it has a different size spring. Maybe the spring's messed up. And same goes for the Amicus. So I can only speak for my particular knife. And let's go to a front flipper. That would have to be the Kizer Feist XL. It's just a very fidgety knife. I can do the roll around. I can do the reach around. I can use it like a regular flipper. And man, just watch this. Woo! And I've owned 3 of these, and every one of them had that kind of action. So very, very nice and smooth. Very snappy actions. So we have the flipper action, the thumb hole action, the front flipper action. The thumb stud action would have to go to the Civivi Qubit for me. Mine, I own 2 of these, and both of them have that nice crisp break. Very satisfying, and that thwack it makes. Qubit's winning a lot of awards this year. Number 8, we have the best ergos, and I have different classes on this one too. The most affordable, the BestechMan Ronan. This one just has some nice and comfortable contoured scales on it. Fills out my hand nicely and felt good during my testing. Step it up a bit in price, we have the Vosteed Corsair. A good EDC size. Another one that has nice contoured scales. Doesn't fill out the hand as nice as the Ronan, but still nice and comfortable, at least in all the testing I did. We'll move up in price a little bit more with the Kizer Doberman. Yeah, man, this one has awesome action too, but the ergos on this thing are just excellent. Outstanding, especially in this choke up spot. It slices well too because of that full flight grind. It could have been on that part of the list. The action, that could have been on that part of the list as well, but I chose it for the ergos just because that was something that stuck out the most to me. And lastly, we have the Tempest knives, a Jetstream. Man, oh man, I love this knife. The ergos, it's got contour titanium. It's wider. It fills out the hand nicely in this grip. Very, very comfortable. It has great action. And yeah, I love the Jetstream. This one was very, very comfortable during my testing, like all the Tempest knives I've tested so far on the channel. So there's not really a clear winner on this one because they're different price points and they're all really good in the ergonomics department. Take it from somebody with some pretty beat up hands. Last, we have the best looking, and of course this is subjective. It's my own opinion. This is what I think looks best. So we got 3 different knives, but we're gonna have one clear winner. At least this was a tough one. So first up, we have the Berg blades Sweeney. I just love the overall profile, the usefulness of that blade shape, and I love the rustic look, even though it's not the best user as far as, you know, the way it looks after you've been cutting stuff. Just overall very comfortable, excellent knife this year. That's number 1. Not the number 1 overall, but the first choice. And these next 2 kept going back and forth. Next, we have the Knives Nefaris. This one has a beautiful clip point blade that I think is very, very attractive looking. And you have that aluminum foiled carbon fiber. Nice micro milling. I think it's a beautiful knife. Probably my favorite Wee knife so far. And it's just a stunning knife. But these two aren't the overall winner. For me, the overall winner as far as looks go would have to be the Quiet Carry 9. This one kind of took me by surprise. I did not expect Quiet Carry to be dropping something like this. This is a little bit different than their norm. But it's got these beautiful fat carbon inlay. It's hard to show, but you have some nice micro milling on the titanium here. And it's carried over on this side as well. The action on this knife makes it even that much prettier. And overall, this is my favorite looking knife I've bought all year. And these three, in my opinion, are all very, very good lookers. So there you go. I hope y'all enjoyed that video. Y'all let me know what's some of y'all favorites in these categories. Like I said, I'll have as many knives as I can listed down in the comments. If I can list them all, I will do so depending on how much time I have. I hope everybody's having an absolute amazing day, and stay tuned. I will be having more top 10 videos and maybe even top 20 videos of the best of 2023. All right, guys and girls, I'll see y'all on the next one. Hey! Yeah, 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 yeah!